Welcome to Good Screenwriting. I'm Trevor Meyer, and today we're going to talk about Annabelle creation. Now, you may want to scroll down a little bit or turn off your video screen because this is one creepy looking picture here. This is going to give me nightmares just by itself. All right? Very unsettling. And so is the film. I think that Annabelle creation, it's Halloween. I had a little movie marathon over the weekend to prepare for this momentous occasion. And among the films we watched was Annabelle Creation, which we did not see in theaters, saw for the first time on home video. And I like it. I like it a lot. It's one of the good ones. In fact, I believe there are 4 movies now in the Conjuring universe, they're calling it. So there's The Conjuring, Annabelle, The Conjuring 2, and Annabelle Creation. Now, the funny thing about this structurally is that Annabelle, I believe, was a prequel to The Conjuring, and Annabelle Creation is a prequel to that prequel, so it's stepping backward. Sort of like how in the Hannibal series, you have Silence of the Lambs, then you move forward to Hannibal, and then you go backward to Red Dragon, and then backward again to Hannibal Rising, at least in the movies. So, uh, this brings to light one of the things that I learned about comedies and horror films, which is, yes, a horror movie can be scary. That doesn't mean it's good. A comedy can make me laugh, but that doesn't mean it's a good movie. A horror movie still has to follow the same rules as any other good screenwriting or any other good film. It has to have good characters. It has to have a compelling plot. There has to be a strong conflict. And a lot of times there has to be humor too. We learned that with Stephen King's It, Part 1, Chapter 1, earlier this year. You can have a lot of humor in these horror films, and in fact you should, because there are more important things than just maintaining the tone of keeping people afraid. So this movie delivers on a character level, it delivers on a plot level, and it scares the bejesus out of you. It's tangentially connected to the first Annabelle. I wouldn't say necessarily that you have to see the first Annabelle to understand what's going on in this movie until the very end. By the end of the movie, if you're a little rusty, if you don't quite remember what happened in Annabelle, you might be a little bit confused by the ending. So, if you want to be fully prepped for this movie, you should probably go back and watch Annabelle first. You might even want to check out The Conjuring or The Conjuring 2 because they do bring in another character that crosses over with the Conjuring movie. It's not incredibly important. It's just if you want to know more about it. The way I see it is it's sort of like when you get to the end of The Incredible Hulk, Tony Stark shows up, Robert Downey Jr., and you might be a little bit confused and you might say, "What's this guy's story?" and then go watch Iron Man. So, it's kind of like that. You watch this movie and you're like, "Well, what was that all about?" It's just a little Easter egg that leads to The Conjuring, okay? So, of this series, I think that 3 out of 4 of them meet my standards for success, meaning that it made its money back, it got good reviews from the audience, and it got good reviews from the critics. The only one that didn't was Annabelle, the first Annabelle. So this is a step up from that if you were concerned about it not being the same quality as like the Conjuring movies, for example. If I were to rank the movies in the series, I'd say Conjuring 2 is my favorite by far. Conjuring 2 might be my favorite horror movie of all time. And what's funny is it's not the scariest movie I've ever seen, all right? I thought Annabelle was scarier than The Conjuring 2, but it wasn't as good of a movie on a character level, on a plot level, on a thematic level, all right? So there's more to horror movies than just cheap thrills, okay? I watched a movie called Last Shift, The Last Shift on Netflix, and it's about a rookie cop who has to spend the night in an old police station on its last night before it gets shut down. And it's one of the scariest movies I've ever seen. Is it a good movie? Not really. It's scary, though. It's scary. So we're looking for more than just one emotion here. Okay, I saw a comedy movie with Kevin Hart. I can't remember what it was called. The Wedding Ringer, I think it was. The Wedding Ringer, something like that. Um, I thought it was hilarious, but it wasn't a good movie. It failed on every other level except for the fact that it was really, really funny. So you got to kind of separate that in your mind. Just because something's scary doesn't mean it's good. Just because something's funny doesn't mean it's good. There are other factors at play. Stephen King's It, Chapter 1, was scary in some spots, but that's not what made it really good. What made it really good was the characters, all right? And how they interact, how it really captures real life from that time period. So, Conjuring 2 is my favorite of the series. I didn't even care that much for the first Conjuring. It didn't really stick out in my mind as being amazing. I think it was good. Annabelle Creation might be my second favorite in the series, and then The Conjuring, and then my least favorite would be Annabelle, the first Annabelle. So, that's just how I think they fall. If you want a good scare this Halloween, I mean, you got one more day. It's Halloween right now. So, if you want a good, screw it. Bring it into November. Forget about Thanksgiving. Go keep watching scary movies for the next week or two. All right? If you haven't checked this movie out yet, go ahead and check it out. Don't worry too much about seeing the other movies in the series. After all, this is a prequel, so it's kind of how it all got started. Might as well jump right in and see if you like it. And then if you do, you could branch out to the other movies in the series. All right? So overall, I give this one a 4 out of 5. All right? It's not great. It's good. It's good. And it is scary. So it'll be a good time if you're into some scary movies for Halloween. All right? So what'd you think? How would you rank the Conjuring series of these 4 films? And there's going to be another spin-off called The Nun. The Nun is coming out, I think, next year, maybe the year after that. I'm not really sure. But let me know what you think in the comment section below. This is Good Screenwriting, and I'm Trevor Meyer. See you next time.